Welcome everybody. Let's add the following roots. So if we want to add two roots or two square roots, we need that the radicands of the roots must be equal. So in this case, it's impossible because one is 200 and the other one is 98. So what we do is take the radicand and factor them in a place apart. Yeah. So first of all, let's uh, let's um, factorize the following numbers. 200, we know that has the half. Half of 2 is 1, and half of 0, 0. Half of 100 is 50. The half of 50 is 25. Yeah. 25 is divisible by 5, and that is 5. And 5 is divisible by 5, that is equal to 1. So once that we already factorize the 200, we uh, pair them in pairs. We make pairs that this is equal to by 2, 2 at the square, and later we have 5 by 5 equal to 5 at the square. And in the case the 2 that doesn't have any pair, or in the case that we have more than one number that doesn't have pair, we just multiply them in a single number. So in this case, it's alone, so it's just 2 at the 1. Yeah. With this, we already know that the square root of 200 is equal to, first of all, the square root of 2 at the square. We write the number that have exponent the first as 2 at the square and 5 at the square. And finally, the number that doesn't have the exponent, to the square. So we close root, and later, we separate the roots, in three parts. The square root of 2 at the square times the square root of 5 at the square, and finally the square root of 2. Yeah. This is a property of multiplication of square roots. Later, by another rules, we know that we cancel the square root with the exponent at the square, and we obtain just the number 2. The same happens with the 5. We cancel the square root with the exponent, and there is just left the 5. And in the case of these two, it doesn't have any exponent, so we just copy the square root of 2. Finally, we multiply 2 times 5, that is 10. 10 square root of 2. So we made this. Now we know that the square root of 200 is 10 square root of 2. And we go back to the exercise, the main part of the exercise, and we can say that this is equal to the square root, of 10 square root of 2. Got it? But, we have the square root of 98, and we will do the same, So apart, we write 98, and we start to factorize, So 98 have the half, that is 4, 9, and later 49 is divisible by 7, that is 7, and 7 is divisible by 7, that is 1. As you see, we just have one couple of the same number, that is 7 at the square, and also we copy the 2. Yeah, so that means that the square root of 98 is equal to the square root of 7 and the square times 2. Okay, we close the square root, and okay, now we separate the square roots. Yeah, the square root of 7 at the square times the square root of 2. Okay, and finally, okay, we know that we cancel the root with the exponent of 2, and we just have the 7, and in the case of the square root of 2, okay, we just copy this number. So we conclude that the square root of 98 is 7 times the square root of 2. We'll go back to our main exercise and write that 98 is equal to 7 times the square root of 2. Yeah. So as you see, now we have two addends where we can see that we have a number multiplied by the square root of 2. So that means that they are like roots. So we can add them. So we group, okay, the coefficient 10 plus 7 and copy the common radicand. Okay, so that is the square root of 2. 10 plus 7 it's equal to 17, and copy the common square root. Yeah, so that is our solution. Now we know that the square root of 200 plus the square root of 98 is equal to 17 times the square root of 2. Yeah, so in the case that when we simplify both square root and they have different radicands, so that means we cannot add them. And we finish this exercise.